The Cecil Hotel did not sleep. It inhaled through cracked windows and exhaled through its hallways. A slow, mouldy breath that clung to the skin. Guests complained of whispers in the walls, of footsteps pacing just outside their doors, of dreams that didn't feel like dreams at all. Management smiled, apologized, and offered complimentary coffee. Elisa Lam arrived on a grey afternoon, dragging a red coat behind her like a warning flag. She was alone, but not lonely not yet. Her travel blog was cheerful, full of curiosity and optimism. Notes about bookstores and street food, and the beauty of getting lost on purpose. Room 514 welcomed her with flickering lights and a mirror that seemed slightly too tall. When Elisa set her suitcase down, the mirror reflected her a second longer than it should have. She laughed it off. That first night, she heard knocking, soft, polite. 3 taps. When she opened the door, the hallway was empty. The carpet stretched on, stained and silent. The elevator at the end of the hall chimed. Even though no one had pressed the button, Elisa told herself it was jet lag. On the second night, the knocking came again, louder this time. When she opened the door, the air felt colder, heavier, as if the hallway itself was holding its breath. Far down the corridor, something moved, not walking, not crawling, but sliding, just beyond the reach of the lights. She shut the door and locked it. That night, she dreamed of water filling her lungs while voices whispered her name from above. Asterisk. The elevator camera recorded everything. That's what the sign said, printed in neat black letters. Elisa believed it until the elevator began to behave as if it remembered her. On the morning of her disappearance, she stepped inside and pressed the button for the lobby. The doors refused to close. She pressed again. Nothing. Elisa leaned forward, peering out into the hallway. Hello. She called, joking. Something answered. Not a voice more like the absence of sound. A hollow pressure that made her ears ring. Elisa stepped back, suddenly uneasy. The elevator lights flickered, casting her shadow in impossible angles along. The wall's Chachid began to gesture, waving her arms as if explaining something to someone who wasn't there. Her reflection lagged behind her movements. A fraction of a second to slow the doors finally slid shut. They opened on the wrong floor. The hallway was darker here, narrower, the walls damp as if they had been sweating. Elisa backed into the elevator, panic creeping into her chest. The doors stayed open as if inviting her out. She didn't realize until later, and no one realized, really, that the elevator had stopped recording sound at that exact moment. Only her movements remained. Her fear, her confusion, and the way she pressed herself into the corner, trying to make room for something unseen. Asterisk guests began to complain. The water was dark. The water tasted wrong. The water smelled like rust and rot. Maintenance checked the pipes. Management blamed the city. No one thought to check the roof knot at first. Elisa, meanwhile, wandered through a maze that shouldn't have existed. Stairwells led nowhere. Doors opened into rooms that had no windows and no numbers. The hotel rearranged itself when she wasn't looking. She followed the sound of dripping water upward, climbing until the air thinned and her legs shook. The roof door was unlocked, waiting. The water tanks loomed like sentinels, their metal sides humming softly. Elisa approached one, drawn by a sense of awful familiarity. She peered inside. The water stared back. faces pressed against the surface, not drowning, not alive, but watching. Their mouths opened in silent screams that vibrated through her bones. Elisa staggered back, clutching her head. Behind her, the tank lid creaked. Something nudged her forward. Asterisk when Elisa didn't check out. Panic spread fast. Her parents flew in. The police searched every floor, every room, every locked space. They missed the roof. Dogs barked at walls. Officers felt watched, but couldn't explain why. One swore he heard breathing from inside an empty room. The elevator. Footage surfaced online, and the world watched Elisa's final recorded moments on loop. People argued over shadows, gestures, timing. Everyone saw something different. No one saw the hotel smile when the water tanks were finally checked. The truth surfaced in pieces. Elisa's body told a story, but not the whole one. The autopsy couldn't explain the fear thrown into her face, or why the tank lid had been impossibly heavy, or why guests still complained of knocking the Cecil. Hotel still stands. The elevator still pauses on floors no one selects. Water still tastes wrong. Sometimes. And late at night, if you stand in the hallway outside room 514, you might hear 3 soft taps. Some say Elisa wanders the corridors, trying to warn others away. Others say she became part of the hotel, absorbed into its breathing walls and endless stairwells. The mirror in room 514 still reflects visitors a second too late. And sometimes, just sometimes, when the elevator doors refuse to close, the camera captures a shape standing just out of frame waiting for someone to step inside. The hotel does not forget. It never has.